Hi, this is Chuck Oliver. We're at our Retirement Pillar Protection Workshop, and I have the opportunity to ask Rosemary to give just a little bit of feedback as far as if there's somebody out there wanting to kind of know what she learned or what your biggest insight was, Rosemary. What would you say your biggest insight was?
I think the biggest one is that there's more than one choice in doing what you're going to do with Social Security. Making the decisions ahead with your spouse, it can increase what you get from Social Security and protect you down the road if you know certain things can be done another way.
Yeah, and did you find that was it almost a little overwhelming, the number of different options you could do, thinking, because I know when you and I talked earlier, you said, wow, there were just a lot of different options. Was that surprising to you?
Yes, I didn't really know. I thought it simply sign me up on this date at a certain age, and this is what you're going to get, and
that's it.
That's it, right. But there's a lot more that you can do that'll help you financially.
So if I just ask you, thinking of the one word that would describe, or a couple words, a phrase, whatever is easiest for you, that would describe kind of what you learned here today that you think would be important for somebody else to know, what would be your word or phrase that was kind of your thing that you'd leave with them?
Load up with knowledge about retirement, because there's a lot of options, a lot of challenges. Know what could be predicted in the future. Where are you at now? Where do you want to be? And many different ways to do it. If you did get a chance to, the reason you should be here is that you're informed about more things than you really can imagine. Retirement, as one thing we learned, we're all going to last a little bit longer with the baby boomers. Therefore, your money needs to last longer. You need to do the wise thing and have it protected so that it can't be messed up by market, by the government, taxes, any other things that are going on in the world.
Well, thank you very much, Rosemary.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, this is Chuck Oliver. We just finished our Retirement Protection Pillars workshop, and the distinct pleasure of having Devin Patel on our team, who ultimately is one of the industry's leading experts on Social Security optimization strategies. I thought it would be good, Devin, for clients or people that didn't have the opportunity to attend our event, to have the opportunity to gain the insight of where we talk about these retirement income gap protection strategies, because obviously Social Security is only going to provide so much. And I thought it would be very important, as one client had asked, what have you found after optimizing Social Security to be kind of the biggest fear or the concerns, in particular, the clients have of then recognizing the fact that there is this gap in the graph, unfortunately, I think from your experience, more people having that gap than, unfortunately, people being able to fulfill the gap. Would you kind of tell the camera a little bit as far as the people that might be watching this, kind of what your experience has been?
Sure. Well, what I see from most people we meet with after optimizing their Social Security, they never really factored in inflation into their plan, never really figured out what it is they live off of today and looked in the long-term aspect of it and factoring in how they're going to really afford that. And so that's probably the biggest insight most people get when we meet with them. But it also is kind of, not fun for most people, because it's money isn't easy to talk about, but also when you figure out how much it's really going to cost you, and it's that eye-opening, it doesn't come across well for a lot of people. So I think that's probably the main insight. And then also understanding that the Social Security Administration will never teach you how to optimize your Social Security like this. There are really unique filing strategies out there, and they're just not publicized because really they say the wealthy are taking advantage of them, but they're really to help everybody. I mean, if you really looked at how you can plan and structure your retirement, this should be where you start, with Social Security and optimizing that so you can really figure out how to afford your lifestyle.
Two other questions I think are real important. One is why, in your experience, especially as you sit down with people and help them figure out this retirement income gap, what has been the experience you've had as far as other people when you ask them, well, has your advisor talked to you about these strategies, or even had the discussion with you about Social Security? And then lastly, what are the two things, especially since people I think are in shock and awe that up to 85% of their Social Security for most people is going to be taxed, What are the two things that escape that taxation? Because next to inflation, I think you'd agree, taxation tends to be the thing that people didn't, factor in when they start obviously spending down their assets. So why aren't more people getting direction from their advisor? And what are the two things that ultimately escape, not unfortunately in an indirect tax, giving back a lot of your Social Security because of 85% of Social Security being taxed?
Sure. Well, yeah, from most people I meet with, not one has ever told me they've sat down with their financial advisor and planned out how they're going to draw their Social Security income. And, I believe the main reason why is because a financial advisor wouldn't be compensated on that. I don't think there's a way to charge somebody for that type of planning or that type of information. So it's not something they lead with or not something they ever try to cover because most of them probably see it as a waste of time. And the two things that, really even tying this in make more sense for people to plan and figure out their Social Security income is because as it relates to taxation, the only two things that escape from taxation of your Social Security benefits is having your income from either a Roth IRA or a cash value life insurance plan. And most people we meet with don't have either one of those. And so, if you can really be strategic about how you plan, you could save yourself a lot of money. And so that's really, the key insight I think most people get when they come and see these events and they meet with us. It's a big difference from what most people are teaching.
And I think just to wrap it up, I think a good way to summarize that is several people don't realize that there's more to planning to retirement than there is getting through retirement. And when you think about now the 3 retirement protection pillars, now that we don't have this 3-legged stool any longer for most people, it's the idea that they didn't realize you could optimize in all 3 of those retirement pillar protection areas as a result of having their eyes open and seeing a brighter future. So, Devin, thank you. Appreciate that.